people of YouTube or whatever. It is 11:45 at night and I'm wearing my pajamas, so what better time to introduce myself and my new channel. This is where I'm going to be doing booktubing because I decided that would probably fit me a lot better because since I'm in university for English, I know a lot about books and I like books and books. As I said, I'm in university for English and history. And so, yeah, I really like books and I like writing and I like words and I like all that sort of stuff. What better way to introduce myself than to show everyone my top 5 favorite books right now? Because if you asked me like a couple years ago, I would have very different answers about what my favorite books were, but my favorite books right now, I will show you. Oh, this is my sidekick, Llama. Or I guess he's an alpaca, but he's awesome. So he'll be showing up sometimes just to chill, whatever. Okay. And it's in no particular order. So the first one is Perks of Being a Wallflower. It is a story of what it's like to grow up in high school. More intimate than a diary, Charlie's letters are singular and unique, hilarious and devastating. We may not know where he lives, we may not know to whom he is writing. All we know is the world he shares. Caught between trying to live his life and trying to run from it puts him on a strange course through uncharted territory. The world of first dates, family dramas, new friends, the world of sex, drugs, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where all you need is that perfect song on that perfect drive to feel intimate. Infinite. Sorry about that. I read this book at the beginning of last summer, unsure of what to expect from it. I read it because the movie was coming out, and I'm a big fan of Emma Watson, so I wanted to read it because I wanted to read it before the movie came out. But I fell in love with the story and the characters. Oh, how do I pronounce Chbosky, whatever, however you pronounce Stephen, I don't know. His writing pulled me into Charlie's world, and since I knew nothing about the book, I was very much intrigued about what was to come. When I finished reading it, I just instantly turned to the first page and read it again. Since then, I've read it multiple times, and I saw the movie, which was fantastic. I definitely recommend the book and the movie. Next book is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. And pretty much any book by Maggie Stiefvater. A cold. Grace has spent years watching the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, watches back. He feels deeply familiar to her, but she doesn't know why. The heat. Sam has 2 lives. As a wolf, he keeps the silent company of the girl he loves, and then for a short time each year he is human, never daring to talk to Grace. Until now. The shiver. For Grace and Sam, love has always been kept at a distance, but once it's spoken, it cannot be denied. Sam must fight to stay human, and Grace must fight to keep him, even if it means taking on the scars of the past, the fragility of the present, and the impossibility of the future. Dun, dun, dun. So the way I discovered Maggie Stiefvater was pretty undramatic at the time. I didn't really understand the significance of my actions. I didn't know I was about to discover one of my favorite books. I saw Shiver in a bookstore, and I wasn't really looking for anything in particular at the time, so I picked it up because the cover looked kind of cool, and I was like, that's interesting. But so whenever I'm really, really into a book, I go into like this tunnel vision thing where the only thing that exists is the book. And when I read this book, it was like mega tunnel vision. I got so absorbed in the lives of Grace and Sam. Maggie Stiefvater made me cry from sadness and happiness with this book, which I didn't think was possible. All of her books are amazing, and I love every single one of them. Okay, so I got it signed. Got it signed by Maggie Stiefvater. It was like the best day of my life. So next book, well, and series, is the Uglies series. And I pulled this book off my shelf, and it turns out I was reading it recently. Don't remember it, but okay. Tally is about to turn 16, and she can't wait. Not for her license, but for turning pretty. In Tally's world, your 16th birthday brings an operation that turns you from a repellent ugly into a stunningly attractive pretty, and catapults you into a high-tech paradise where your only job is to have a really great time. In just a few weeks, Tally will be there, but Tally's new friend Shay isn't sure she wants to be pretty. She'd rather risk life on the outside. When Shay runs away, Tally learns about a whole new side of the pretty world, and it isn't very pretty. The authorities offer Tally the worst choice she can imagine: find her friend and turn her in, or never be pretty at all. The choice Tally makes changes her world forever. I first read this book a while ago, and now there's been like a sudden rise in teen dystopian fiction, so I should probably actually read it again. I love this book because of the dystopia factor. I read 1984 and Animal Farm in grade 11, and it seems that there definitely is a surge in the dystopian genre recently. I like the idea that there was this group of people who would be like rebels against the enforced way of life. The shallow, girly part of me also likes the idea of like becoming pretty and have lots of fun stuff. What I'd really like to have from this book are like the hoverboard things. I really like the relationship development of the characters, whether romantic or not romantic. I found it really interesting that through the series, the protagonist, or like the main character, Tally, had kind of unattractive moments where you would wonder like why she would do that, and it just seems like a bad choice for the people around her. All in all, if you like teenage dystopia, you'll like this one. So next up is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I pretty much like Maggie Stiefvater, anything by John Green. I first discovered John Green via YouTube and his channel, The Vlog Brothers, and I really liked him, so I was pleasantly surprised to find out that he was also a writer. The first book I read by him was Looking for Alaska. To spite my parents, I read it in the middle of exam study time as an alternative to studying and getting a higher education. But I loved it instantly, and I've read every book by him except Will Grayson, which I'm currently reading. I especially loved The Fault in Our Stars because I love the characters and how well they fit together in a Romeo and Juliet tragically doomed relationship. Spoiler alert. I laughed a lot, but I cried a lot more. I don't really want to spoil anything more, but those who have read it will know what I'm talking about. I spent literally 20 minutes trying to recover so I could finish the book. Much like Maggie Stiefvater, John did what I thought was impossible, which was making me cry and laugh and cry a lot. Next is actually just a full series, but I have two here. It's Scott Pilgrim. So this one is the first one. It's called Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Technically they're graphic novels, but they still count as books. The whole series is phenomenal, and I might be a little biased because the author is Canadian and the story takes place in Toronto. I really want to say this to everyone. Read the books, don't watch the movie. Sorry, Michael Cera, but you are too sad and awkward to be Scott. I think people who like romantic comedies and teenage stuff will like this series. It's not too mushy, and it's a little crude. Well, it's definitely not mushy, and it's a little crude, but it's so much fun to read, and that is why it is one of my favorite series. So yeah, that is it. That has been my top 5 favorite books. If you would like to see more booktubing from me, don't hesitate to subscribe or like or whatever. Just let me know that you care or that you hear me. Whatevs. totally turning into a gangster person. I'll try to have a new video up soon. So, yeah, bye!